Okay, so I'm going to show you the ultimate quantized grid for that skippy kind of underground bumpy vibe. Now this is a quantized grid that you don't get by default. It's a custom one, okay, and it's going to get you out of a lot of trouble when you're trying to program. A lot of people do struggle with programming 16 triplet grids, so watch this video and you're going to find out what to do. The same techniques can be applied to other DAWs, okay, even though I'm in Cubase. So first thing you want to do is make sure you're selecting your 16 triplet grid. Now I'm going to double click here and I'm going to show you in the key editor what's going on. You see these subdivisions, all right? So some of these you do not want to use at all, okay? So certain positions in the triplet grid are absolutely useless. The dark lines here are representing the beats, okay? So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to create a custom grid. I'm going to come up to MIDI drum editor just to show you here to focus on this. I'm going to find a percussive sound. One of these will do. This is what we're going to use, okay? First one, then we're going to make a gap. And then you can see here. So number 1, number 2, number 3 is what we use. So 1, 3, 4, skip the 5, onto the 6. Okay, so we just replicate that. All right, so this is it. There's a gap and there's 2, a gap and there's 2. Once again, a gap and there's 2, a gap and 2. That's how it works. That's a perfect grid. So let me, I'm going to show what it sounds like. So, you know, this is the kind of pattern that you use for like a shaker, tambourine, maybe a closed house. So that's our grid, okay? And that's it. That's all we need. So we're going to save that as a custom grid. Going to basically do this by coming up to Edit, coming to Advanced Quantize, create Groove Quantize preset. And so now that's been saved. You see up here, you can see it in the list. Going to basically come down and make it a bit more friendly. Just going to drop this down and say rename. I'm going to say DJL grid. Going to save that. So that can be used for programming a beat, playing some keys in, bass, etc. All of it's going to work. All right, so I'm going to take that away. I'll give you a demonstration. I'll perform some stuff in and let's see what happens. So anyway, that's a little vibe there, and you can see that all of those grid positions were all locking into my new custom grid, and it really does make the job a lot easier. So seriously, get yourselves a custom grid like that. Let me take it off my grid onto 16 triplet. So once again, this is the one you don't want to use, okay? And then also this is the one you don't want to use. And you can see that I'm not using any of those because I've got my custom DJL grid.